Hello, my beautiful fragrance family. Dustin here, fragrance fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification. And I'm just going to keep on giving you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews. That 40-ish and under dollar range, most of these are way less than that. And a good number of these you can find at your local rack stores. And so I decided to put together a list of 5 fragrances that nobody really talks about. It's not really on anybody's radar. Some of them have pretty good ratings. Some of these actually kind of don't, I think. But, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the fun about this whole thing, finding these rack store little gems that nobody really knows about. It's like discovering something almost, right? So, in no particular order, let's just go over some of these fragrances that I think should be mentioned more, if not, at least on your radar so that you can check these things out. And if you know about any of these, if you've smelled any of these, tell me what you guys think in the comments. So first up, let's go with Prevas Magenta. And this is a Giorgio Armani Magenta Tanzanite clone. And this is when, I mean, the bottle almost looks identical. The atomizers are just amazing. Apparently there's like 4 in this lineup. I don't know the other ones. I guess there's like a turquoise one and just there's other colors, but I've only ever seen this. And I see this one almost every time I go in the rack store. It's kind of annoying. But man, this thing smells so good. It's got that oriental, spicy cinnamon. It's got like almost a little bit of like vanilla in there. There's a hot, spicy accord in the original on Fragrantica. I thought that was pretty cool. Hot, spicy. And I definitely get that in here because this is one of those, again, oriental, cinnamon forward, sweet kind of fragrances. It's kind of like a feminine version because this is unisex and it might lean just a hair more feminine than masculine, but not so much. And if you're not afraid of a unisex fragrance or one that might lean just a little bit more into the feminine territory, this is almost always going to be in the women's section. It's kind of like perhaps a woman flanker version of Burberry London. This also has some of the tobacco in it, I believe, at least the original does, but it's not real dominant, but you do get that tobacco in here. Mostly, like I said, this is a sweet, cinnamon, spicy kind of a fragrance. Good for the cool weather, even almost a good date night fragrance, evening for sure. Just a nice smelling fragrance. You see it at the rack store. It's going to be in the women's section. Spray it on your hand. Walk around for a bit. Tell me what you think. Longevity on this is about 4 to 5 hours, so it's not that long lasting, but it's not too bad. And $14.99, Marshalls. Hard to beat that. So up next, Milestone Saffron Noir. Now this one did get talked about a little bit. Again, was that $14.99 at TJ Maxx? Yeah. And the reason why I want to bring this particular one up is because they are being marked down to like $10 a piece. And I'm wondering if people that are smelling these, I think most people that go in the rack stores and they look for fragrances, they're looking for Acqua di Gio, they're looking for Versace Mano Fresh or Versace Eros or Dior Sauvage, the most like crowd pleasing things on the planet, whereas this is not a crowd pleasing fragrance whatsoever. But my goodness, you want to talk about quality in a bottle for $10? I mean, I can easily pick out the violet, the saffron, the leather. I can easily pick out that sweet raspberry, and in the air it's almost a little different than when it's on skin. In the air it leans a little bit more like Tuscan leather vibe. On the skin it gets a little bit more smooth and sweet, and in the dry down it gets a little bit richer. Any bit of the harshness is gone in the dry down, and you're just left with this rich, creamy, silky smooth, raspberry, leathery, saffron, cashmere kind of a fragrance. $10, and it's really close to the original, the Byredo Black Saffron. It's pretty darn close to that, and the performance on this is decent too. It's like a 7 or 8 hour fragrance for $14.99 when I picked it up, and it's $10 in the rack stores. And like I said, it's a challenging fragrance, and it's smack dab in the middle of male to female. It's a unisex fragrance through and through. It's a cold weather evening fragrance. Again, but man, if you see this one, just check it out. And if you like niche kind of ideas, check this out if you're not afraid of something that's a little out of the box of crowd pleasers. I love the way this thing smells, and I love the quality. It's like they took their time with this one. And there's another one that's a Bibliotech clone. Some people say it's a Mojave Desert. That thing's like fresh. To me, it smells absolutely nothing like Mojave Desert. And I'm talking about Mystique. It's a Bibliotech. Unless there's one that's even it's closer than another, or unless it's closer to another than Bibliotech. But to me, man, when I smell Bibliotech, when I smell that, I'm like, man, this is Bibliotech. You know, it smells just like it. Looks just like this. Called Mystique. And it's kind of worthy for this list too, but I didn't want to be too redundant, so I just mentioned it real quick. Up next is one that I purchased not too long ago, and I was pretty impressed by it. And I'm talking about Vibrant Leather by Zara. There was 2 of these 60 milliliter bottles. This one, and I had Vibrant Oud Leather for $16.99 for 2 60 milliliter bottles. And all this has in it is bergamot, bamboo, and leather. But it leans really close to that Aventus style DNA. Now, the reason why I wanted to put this on the list and why I felt like it deserved to be on this list is because, sure, it's another Aventus style thing, but when I first smelled this, that wasn't the first thing that went to my head. Usually when I smell an Aventus style fragrance, I'm like, oh, another Aventus. But that didn't happen with this one. And perhaps maybe it's because it's leaning more on the bergamot side, that relaxing bamboo, the smokiness is not in there with this thing. Atomizer is good on this. Really good atomizer. It's juicy, it's citrus, it's fresh, and super, super easy. This is like a very chill summertime version of Aventus. It has very little bit of the weight in there. That's coming from the leather. But other than that, that juicy, crisp bergamot and that watery, relaxing, smooth green bamboo note makes this such a pleasing fragrance. And I got a solid compliment on this thing hours after I applied it. So the performance isn't that bad. It's about an average. To me, it's like an average performing fragrance, but it was like 2 or 3 hours later, and I got a solid compliment on this thing. It smells way more expensive than what it is. I'm not going to say it's the best quality, but for $17, and you get 2 fragrances, 2 60 milliliter bottles, you might want to check this out if you see this. I found this at... It was either at TJ Maxx or Marshalls. It wasn't Burlington or Ross. It was TJ Maxx or Marshalls. But yeah, Vibrant Leather from Zara. Super fresh, juicy, relaxing, smooth, clean, and Aventus style fragrance. I feel like it deserves to be on this list. Up next, one that really surprised me because when I saw the bottle, I knew it was supposed to be in the female section. I knew it was supposed to be in the women's section because I recognize this name brand and they're only ever in the women's section. But I decided, why not? Let me just smell this thing. I love fragrances. Why not smell it? It might be unisex. I'm talking about Sand Fog Pistachio Dream, if I can get this thing to focus. Some of them are a different bottle. Some of them come in like, it'll be kind of this color, and it'll have like almost a dipstick thing where you put it in and you like apply the drops. This is a roll-on. I like the roll-on better than the dropper because it doesn't make a mess. This applies really nice. You just rub it on your forearms or whatever. And man, when I smelled this, I just couldn't stop smelling. I was like, oh my goodness, what in the world am I smelling right now? Why do I like this so much? Very, very nutty. Very almondy, pistachio-y, but more like the meaty almond with a good dose of fresh sweetness. There's stuff like
brown sugar.
It's more like the sugar. There's like that sugary side to this thing. Vanilla, sugar, nutty, smooth kind of a thing. Well, there goes that. Yeah, the meat of almonds meets smooth vanilla, sugar. This thing is one that you'd probably want to keep away from your girlfriend because she's going to want to wear this thing. But if you're not afraid, again, of a fragrance that leans a little more feminine, but can also be unisex, because Kylie Pistachio Dream is what this really smells a whole lot like. It just doesn't have any of the citrus. And Kylie's, it's just got a tinge of brightness, just a little bit of citrus. This doesn't have any of that. It's got all this smooth sweetness. Everything else is like the same. This thing is like 92% the same as Kylie Pistachio Dream. So, or Yum Pistachio. Pistachio Dream. The Yum Pistachio, whatever it's called. If you like that, then check this out. Quality's decent. Performance really surprised me. I put one little rub on my wrist and I'm driving. I could smell that thing for hours afterwards. It's like a 7 to 8 hour fragrance. It could be a little bit much in the summer, but I think that it would work okay in the summer. And yeah, just check this one out. If you see this in the rack store, check it out. If you don't like it, show it to your girlfriend. She'll probably like it. So it should at least be on your radar. Just check it out. Sand Fog Pistachio Dream. Wonderful smelling fragrance. And last, but certainly not least, the cheapest of all these perhaps, is Land of the Free, Acadia. This fragrance only has 3 notes in it. Cranberry, sea salt, pine needles. This one fits perfectly on the shelf with Bleu de Chanel, Dior Sauvage, Dylan Blue, Aqua Senziale Blue. This is pretty similar to Aqua Senziale Blue. Is the quality as good as all those ones that I named? Not really, but it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I liked it when I first got it. I don't know if when it matured a little bit, that's when I really started digging this thing, because I decided, why not? What the heck? Let me throw this thing on, go to the gym, and wear this thing. Squirted it around, gave it a good 6 squirts, and is when I walked outside, about 20 minutes later, walked outside, the sunbeams hit me, and instantly my body heated up because the sun is crazy here in Tampa Bay in the summer. And I was like, holy cow, this thing really smells good. It smells really good. So the performance, if you dial up the sprays on this one, will hang out pretty decent. It'll hang out at 5 hours. If you keep it toned down to, it's not even that toned down, 5 or 6 sprays, it's only going to last maybe 3 hours at the most, 2 to 3 hours. But you can spray with this thing because it's pretty light, airy, powdery, fresh, clean kind of a fragrance. So you can spray away with this one and you won't do no harm. You're not going to choke anybody out. And if you do that, you're going to do yourself a favor because it's going to hang out on you for about 5, maybe even 6 hours. So the overall profile of this thing is a bit of powderiness along with all the freshness, that saltiness, giving it the cleanness and the airy kind of a thing that makes this a good daytime summer fragrance. This will work in the evening. It'll work even in like a semi-formal kind of a category. But more than anything else, this is a casual blue daytime, somewhat sophisticated and different kind of blue fragrance. So check this one out. If you like blue fragrances, like Bleu de Chanel and Aqua Senziale Blue and stuff like that, you might want to give this one a go because it's a really nice one. So that's 5 fragrances that might not be on your radar, that nobody's really talking about, that I think deserve at least more love than they're getting. Some of these are absolute gems. Others are just really good and nobody talks about. So that's my final thoughts on these 5 fragrances. I'll probably bring some more similar to this because the hunt is going to keep on going and I'm just bound and determined to find more fragrances that are like this. So y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always. And until next time.